Welcome, dear viewers, to a new episode of Dialogue Horizon. In this episode, as we promised last week, we will continue for the coming few weeks on the same issue of the economic situation and the effect of the re-evaluation of the national currency. Because this issue it has a lot of repercussions, that it have a lot of effects and after effects. So we'll continue on the evaluation of the historic decision and courageous decision of equalizing or re-evaluating the currency value, which is one of the prerequisites of the international financial institutions like the IMF and the World Bank. In this episode, I'm happy to host two of our experts in this field, Assistant Professor Sammani Hanoun in Economics and Finance, and Dr. Yasser Al-Abeid, also in Economics, and he has the leverage of working in different parts of Africa, which countries which have similar situation and problems like Sudan. Welcome both of you in this episode. We'll start by Assistant Professor Sammani Hanoun about your evaluation. Now 3 weeks passed after the courageous and historic decision of evaluation, but I don't want to say floating. As long as there is another the custom rate, we cannot say it's a floating, but re-evaluation to a realistic value, which is 378.79. Till this elapse, after the elapse of the 3 weeks, people were afraid or skeptical about accepting or swallowing the decision because it is very big and it's historic. So many people, they speculated that the pound really, the black market would skyrocket and go to, let us say, 1,000. Some pessimistic experts, they say that it will reach 1,000. Now 3 weeks passed and it is still in the range specified by decision makers. So what is your evaluation or your assessments and the reasons why the speculation, that the expectation of the many people did not go as stipulated? What are the main reasons for this?
First of all, thanks to Dialogue Horizon for this special opportunity to share discussion on one of very hot issue today in Sudan, the liberalization of the exchange rate in Sudan during the last 3 weeks. In fact, just let me to start with the economic environment. This historical decision, as described by Engineer Abu Hras, it is resulted in creating what we describe it are more optimistic and conducive economic environment in Sudan. Now, the economy is a little bit relaxed, and people and investors and more stakeholders in the Sudan economy are more optimistic about the futures of the economy. And most important, that government pick up the initiative and became the dominant of the news in the economy. And they also compete with the barrel markets, and the government still hand over the responsibility and the initiative to lead the news in the economy. This is qualitative change in the economy, and the government start to play a new role. So the decisions carried out the government into the economic environment, create more conducive economic environment for foreseeable economic change, restructuring or reform, and also give more power to the government to control the economic trends. So the decision, I think, represents a step forward to universal economic reform in Sudan and represent the cornerstone of the foreseeable change in the economy. So by this criteria, the decision represent a step forward for future economic reform as described by the manifesto of the market economy. I don't agree with this is Roshita of the IMF and World Bank, but I think this is package borrowed from the principles of the market economy in order to liberalize exchange in the economy and to give more freedom to the prices of dollars to move according to the market forces, or what described by the central bank as a managed float system, that central bank intervene frequently in order to adjust any volatilities or fluctuations in the economy. So this is, I think, positive step and create some very conducive and appealing climate in Sudan.
Okay, that's very good. But don't you think, having heard Assistant Professor Sammani, about this is one of the reasons that the decision was good and it's the right decision. But don't you think, Dr. Yasser Abed, that the enthusiastic and patriotic reception of the people, especially the expatriates in different countries, people were amazingly, they were very enthusiastic and very patriotic, and they were very eager to exchange their money or send their money through the banking system. And we have seen lines of people in Khartoum, even in Khartoum, lines of people, they want to exchange their $100 note or 200 or 500, which added, like one of the Bank of Khartoum, for example, he said the proceeds which he received from people till now about $25 million or so anyhow. But definitely people's reaction was unexpected. That is why now the black market dealers are hiding. Do you think that this is one of the reasons that the pound rate, it remained at the level decided by the Minister of Finance?
Thank you very much, Mr. Haraz. I think so. The fluctuation of the dollar since a very long time, maybe more than 20-something years, it's really harmed the economy so much and it harmed all the financial system so much because of the speculation and because of the black market, and the black market is really control all the exchange rate policies even, and because of many elements have been absent from long time because of the smuggling, because of some problem of the production and the pound values, and that all is really came together. But now I think so after the revolution, December revolution, things it's really the Minister of Finance and the central bank, they've tried many times many recipes of the maybe the IMF, and part of it is internally. But in 2020 budget, it's really try to put that program for how we're going to do this, finish about the subsidies and how to make the liberalization for the pound and whatever. That's one part of the policies for liberalization policies. But after this, I think we call it that flexible exchange rate, managed rate. I think so that it came, and as we are economists, we said this is maybe the zeros policies. This is the final stage, because we should put a program before that, at least our plan to do that, even if it is physical shocks program or whatever. Did it came now? It needs a lot of support from Minister of Finance and from central bank, at least to stable or to maintain this stability of the pound. It's true the experts didn't accept that, and now they are very eager to come on the financial system to come and at least purchase and buy and sell their currencies through the banks, and that is one of the of the money policies. If you want to deal, you have to deal with the bank because it's very secure place. You can deal with the banks, you can deal with the financial institution safely without any problem, without any. Maybe you can also sometime if you want to deal with the black market, maybe you can, if it is big or huge money, maybe you can put yourself in a problem in forgery. Money or whatever in a fake money or in something like that. This is why all the people are eager, especially the expatriates. Expatriates, they are really one of the people that they have really been affected so much about that dealing with the black market. But it's not. They know that this is not the right and the proper way to deal with with black market. So that you're going to harm the economy, you're going to destroy the economy, you're going to do a lot of problems in the economy. But now I think so the things is really completely different, and we have not so much obstacles in these policies now because of the banks and correspondent. We're having so much problem in the correspondent internationally. Up to now, this has not been solved completely. We are dealing only with Gulf, Saudi Arabia and Emirates and whatever, and small, and the whole money which is being now purchased through the central market, about $308 million, and which is being sold for the services for the people, 193 million US dollar, which is now is the surplus, and the remain is about 115 million US. That is the surplus has just been kept in the central bank. It's not bad, but we need a lot of we need to push that one to reach up to maybe.
It's not bad because it was zero.
It was zero. We need us to reach up to billion. Will be in a very proper way because we have so much things now. How can we going to attract the money?
So for the first time, the Bank of Sudan started to build up to have some
Yes.
reserve.
Yes.
Whatever it is,
Whatever
whether
it
it's
is,
100,
it's true.
whether it is just a start.
It is starting.
It's something good.
It's true.
That's very good.
Yes, our account even in our account in World Bank also now is being moving also because of that 1 point something billion is going to go through our account.
So in the World Bank.
Yes,
Okay, that's
in
good.
World Bank. That's one of the good because it's going to be to send message to the financiers, to the donors, to the whatever to deal with Sudan now because our money, our account it was frozen for almost more than 30 years.
Zero and dormant.
Zero. Nobody can give you something unless your account is being activated a little bit, and now it's been activated.
Okay, that is very good. But okay, having heard Dr. Yasser Ahmed, he said something very good about
Reserve.
he ended, but about the reserve, started to have a build up of the reserve, which was zero actually. But my question is, what could have happened if the government did not take this decision, this courageous decision of re-evaluating the value of the pound to its realistic level?
Yeah.
Bearing in mind, one of the reasons, he said, one of the reasons, and as I said, that the people were enthusiastic and they are very patriotic and they try to cope with the policies of the government. That's why they started sending their money from outside or even locally here to direct to the banks, which flourished, made the banks flourish and started. But don't you think another reason?
Yeah.
As we all know that the government was the biggest buyer of the dollar, especially when they come to a crisis of fuel or flour or wheat. When they come, they go desperately to the black market. And this was not even from the previous, the Ousted regime, and it's carried over to the revolution. When the Minister of Finance, when they are stuck and when they don't have foreign money, they go and buy it. So the government, I consider the government is the biggest buyer. Now, after this courageous decision, and doors are opened for the real assistance, as Dr. Yasser Ahmed said, World Bank activated the account, the Sudanese account, and it will put some money in it. And now we started having a build-up of reserve, which was zero for quite a long time. So what could have been, what could have happened if the government did not take the decision of re-evaluation of the pound?
Yeah, definitely the bad scenario will take place. If the government will not take the same procedures or decision just taken during the last 3 weeks, the economy will go in the breach direction, and the expectation of the pessimistic speculator will be realized, and the dollar will hit about 1,000 SPSDG, or Sudanese pound. So because of these very historical decisions to liberalize exchange rate in Sudan, now we make a quantitative change that government, instead of main buyers of dollars, became main sellers of dollars to the market. And this is
very healthy.
yeah, that is a very big change actually happened as a result of this historical decision. So I think the failure or the expectations of the pessimistic economists that the dollars will increase dramatically to 1,000 fail because they are very poor forecasters. And if you want to check to what extent they are precise, just think about future, how people they speculate. So from here we just discovered that they are very humble forecasters. Now, what is actually happened? The prices are stable for 3 weeks. And I think this is resistance levels according to the economic analysis. From that level, that they will take the downward trend.
Okay.
This is the maximum.
This is the maximum, yeah.
Yeah, from this point, if the government take any supporting policies, the Sudanese pound will get strength against dollars, and the prices of dollars will start to drop because it's stable for 3 weeks. That means this is a peak. This is a level of resistance. The devaluation will not go beyond that level. From that level, the prices of dollars will go down. But under condition that government should take some supporting a package of policies by all ministers. As we mentioned, that the economic sector should issue some supporting policies to the government, especially, for example, like removing what they call the customs dollars, for instance, that we have also to reduce the VAT into the international standard, just 5 instead of 17. And we can take VAT from the new prices of dollars, 375. So the gain of government will be more. And at the same time, you solve the problem of the distortions in the taxes. Okay. So reducing VAT value to the international rate that required by the WTO, that will result a package of benefit to the economy. So immediately government should support these policies by a new package of policies in order to enhance the bullish trend of the economy. Awaiting this, only this decision would result in a negative or reversal, what we call the reversal. If they result in a reversal, again, the black market will get strength against the government procedures. So you have to pour more policies in order to not to give chance to make reversal again. Government should take package of decisions this time in order to enhance the trend of the Sudanese pound, or to get appreciate in the Sudanese pound against dollars. It is very important, the Ministry of Commerce, the Ministry of Industry, the Tourism, the Education, all of them, they have to increase supply of reserves in central bank in order to enhance the positive trend of the national currency. Otherwise, if the parallel market succeed to reverse the position after this resistance level, they will go into very dark path.
So you think that you are advising the government. This reminds me of something very, very interesting. In car driving a car, when you drive a car, they advise you whether you are in a snow, if your car is stuck in the snow, or in sand, or in mud. The advice, the important advice, they tell you keep rolling. Keep rolling means keep pressing the accelerator. If you lift your foot from it, the car will stuck and will sink down, and it will never get up.
Cannot pass.
Cannot. So you have to. You are advising the government to keep rolling.
Keep rolling. Rolling.
Okay, that's good. Okay, Dr. Yasser Abed. Okay, we have another important question related to this. This is a good. Now we all agree that this is a good medication, the good medicine. But as we all know that any medicine has side effects. Any medication, not a single medicine does not have side effects, adverse effects. Now the adverse effect of this policy is the prices of commodities and the hardship to people. To what extent can the government mitigate or alleviate the hardship caused by unifying the pound rate at a high level. Things, prices will be high, okay? It might not be scarce because still we have, but because the trade is free, but the prices are high. Sometimes I hear that some prices did not go up. Even some prices went down a little bit.
It's true.
So what is the side effect of this policy on the prices of commodities to the people? How can they go about it?
The pricing or soaring of the prices is a part of the sickness. It's not the direct sickness. It is just
The symptom.
the symptom of the main sickness, because there is a lot of problems in our economy because of problem of financing the production and supporting the production and supporting the export items and many things, and we have that unemployment. We have so much problems, and that is part of the problem of fluctuation of the exchange rate, and a part of it is inflation. That is part of the main sickness of the economy of Sudan. We are just up to now, we need to go from that side. At least we form a different plan, because we need a support plan at this time. So that, because the pricing now is stable for a long time, for almost 3 weeks, and part of the little bit the price has been reduced for in part of the item, and part of it is, but there is another problem. We have always talking about it. Many of the economic sectors is really doing things without Minister of Finance and central bank policies. Like now, Minister of Mining is imposing part of taxes in gold. In 1 ton, you have to pay 1 million Sudanese pound. In 1 gram, you have to pay 1,000. I don't know. This is from where it came. Came from the budgets, or from where, on whom has been instructed to do this at this time, and that's one of the problems. Really, the other rest of the problem, production side, like plastic industries now, is being imposed about 20 to 25% taxes, and that is a little bit is going to make problems. Even the custom dollar rate is going to also to make some to soar the price dip. I'm going to increase the price definitely on that, because most of our things now 100% it is being imported from outside, from medicine, from part of the food stuff or whatever, all those things. We need a proper plan and proper policies to be issued from the central bank and from the Minister of Finance, without
Okay, let me interrupt
making
you.
individuals policies, which is going to harm even these policies for the exchange rate.
Okay, let me interrupt you. I just remind you both of something very important. Okay, side effects, such side effects are expected, definitely, and it is good. Now the rate is stable and it's steady, and black market disappeared for the dollar dealers.
For the time being.
For the time being, it will continue as long as we are pressing the accelerator.
It's true.
As we all know, that those hard hit, those who took or will take the brunt of this effect of the dollar freeing is the government official, people working under the government. Because I know, I am in the private sector. Private sector did very reasonable adjustment to salaries. I tell you, every private sector industry, they already did adjustment to salaries, big adjustment, like sometimes double the salary to meet the hardship. The free workers, like the handcrafts, the car mechanics, they already increased their prices of repairing, of any repair.
It's true.
Even the plumbers, they increased their rate on 1 hour, 1 million. At least, if you want a faucet just to ride to fix it, they charge you almost 500, half million. That is these people and the private sector. Can't the government do something about this? Because the ex-minister, Ibrahim Badawi, before implementing, before deciding. He was on his way to implement this decision. Before that, he did some big adjustment to the salaries for the government.
Yeah.
The private sector definitely will follow suit. Do you think the government can do anything about its employees?
Right, it's very difficult. You know what happened from that minister, the ex-minister, Dr. Al-Badawi, about increasing the salaries from to 600 point something. That is really affect the situation so much, the economic situation and the economic arenas there so much. This is what we are now trying to solve the problem from that problem. You know that we return us to even less than square one, or down square one. Now we are trying to solve the problem of that. The government, I think so, it cannot do something because we are in market policies, in international, global system of liberalization of the economics and the open markets and whatever. You can't do something at this time, but can do something that from long time, the confidence between the traders and between whom they are dealing in financial and trade sectors and being experts, the confidence is been completely it became
Lost.
yes, but the confidence and the trust even now is coming back, and how to deal with the government, how to deal with the institutions, internal institution and the financial institution. That one is a part of it, but should be especially the government in a local production or local product or local commodity should enter with pricing or something like that, at least to cover or to at least to protect the people. So government cannot just leave the things all the things to the market. Market now is really trying to soar the pricing, trying to even now look at this the price of the custom rate. It is not that even it's been increased a little bit, but you look at the price, it's going to soar the price for long time, for long, even maybe it's going to go up, maybe 500 other products, maybe can go up, jump up to from 300 to 400 to 500. Because of that, only the small amount is being increased in the custom whatever. That is going to be used by the rest of the traders and by the rest of the businessmen, and they're going to use this as to make a lot of profit on that, because of the government is absent. The government should be there to put proper policies, should be there to cover a lot of spaces and to protect the people and the citizen at least, and to reduce part of the now look at the at part of the taxes in that is normal. If you reduce the taxes, at least the people they expect that you are supporting them in electricity, in whatever, in water, in whatever. So not to leave the things all into to the liberalization and keep it like that, and the people are going to be the victims.
So you don't advise the government to do an adjustment in the salaries.
Policies.
Direct
No,
adjustment.
no
Okay.
way, no way at this
Yes.
time.
If
No way.
I ask you another question related.
Yeah,
Wait,
yes.
another question related to this.
Yeah, I
The,
just
the government has a program, fruit or what is it called, samarat. This program, Assistant Professor Samani Hanoun, it goes in line with the World Bank and the European Union and England. They started supporting the direct assistance to people. Direct. Will that be enough? I mean, by direct assistance, the government and the different financial institutions, they want to reach the individuals who are directly affected by the policies. Not only this pound evaluation, also it will be followed by lifting of subsidies. Subsidies now apply to the rich and to the poor. The same subsidies apply to everybody. Now it will be directed. Sooner or later, it will be directed to cover the whole, lifting the whole subsidies.
Yeah.
But some people will be reached by the government. Will that be better than paying directly in the salaries?
Yeah, definitely. You know, the liberalization policies in the economy has some negative impact and some drawbacks. Part of these drawbacks that the poor classes and the fixed income groups will suffer from the high inflation in the short run. So government tend to transfer some money in order to back and support these poor
poor.
classes and group in the economy. Samarat is a good example of social protection to this vulnerable group in the economy. So the problem of the Samarat itself, I have some comment about Samarat.
Okay.
Samarat is only about $5 to be paid to the beneficiary in the economy, which is very small figure. I suggest that, and last week I hear interview with Ambassador Robert Van. He said that transfer will go to 80% of population in Sudan.
Ambassador of England?
Of the European Union.
European Union, okay.
I suggest for him, it is better to support only 50% of the Sudanese people and to increase the Samarat and transfer into $10 instead of $5. $5 is a very small amount of money that cannot meet the requirement of high inflation in the economy. So all Sudanese people does not need to support them. 50% of population, let us say 20 million of the 40 million, will be given $10 for persons instead of $5. This is regarding the Samarat. Samarat can reduce the negative impact of liberalization and inflation in the economy. From where we get the inflation? During the last 2 weeks, there are some programs issued by state government, like Khartoum state government, increase taxes in water, taxes in electricity, taxes on education. That will harm the policy. And that's what we call the contradiction of policies. So the Khartoum state should not impose taxes, especially during this period. They have to stop imposing taxes. Let me to explain the impact of taxes on inflation. By imposing taxes, you increase the cost of production, because the producer will put the taxes on the cost of production and will increase. That will increase inflation. Once you increase inflation, the value of currency will go down according to the well-known or most prominent theory, the triple B theory, purchasing power parity theory. When inflation increase, the value of national currency decrease. So the state of Khartoum resulted in increasing inflation. Inflation depreciate the value of national currency and increase inflation in the whole country, not in the Khartoum state. But they damage the whole economy. So this is not a very bad decision by the state of Khartoum. They have to stop immediately increasing taxes in the economy, because now we are working to back the national currency. How to increase taxes? Taxes, by the way, the root causes of the problem today. The custom duties to be revised, the taxes in the economy to be revised. I think the most thing, we have to join WTO, and we have to make total reform to the trade system and investment in order at least to prepare the economy for such structural reform. Otherwise, by existing taxes in the economy, we will not solve the problem. We will increase inflation in the economy. Increasing inflation, that means you depreciate the value of currency. Now we are building the value of currency. We are appreciating the value of currency by increasing reserve in central bank. So other economic sectors should not harm the policy.
This is very serious.
Yeah, very important.
This is a very serious allegation by Assistant Professor Sammani Hanoun. This is very serious. To me, this is very serious. Because now we are saying that the state of Khartoum should never put taxes at random. Where is the coordinator? Where is the conductor? There should be somebody to ask state of Khartoum. Where is this body?
Excuse me,
somebody has to say this is wrong. You don't have to.
They should do.
Who tells? Who? Yes, now you said it here. But who is going who is going to?
By the way, it's not only the Khartoum state. Even the rest of the economic sectors, as we mentioned.
So both of you think that is
yes,
very
it's true. That
detrimental.
It's very dangerous at this time. We are treating now the exchange rate. We are treating the pound. We want to support the pound. We want to support the production. This is not the suitable time. Time has so many significations, very bad signification on this time. If you're going to impose or you're going to at least to adopt any type of taxes.
This is very from this dialogue. I take your advice, because as if you are saying that the state of Khartoum definitely unknowing. They are seriously jeopardizing the effort.
Like someone who was sailing in the sea and about to reach to the tank there or to the river, and you just try to push him again back. That's very dangerous, in
Very
fact, by the way,
dangerous.
for the pound especially.
This is
3
very-
weeks, if you want to go into to do the problem of that and going to impose here and there, and you said that now the things are stable.
So somebody should intervene. Somebody. I think.
All sectors should work in line with the Ministry of Finance. If you want to perform the goals, all sectors, central bank, Ministry of Finance, the Ministry of Commerce, Ministry of Industry, the state of
the economic sector.
all economic sectors should work according to the policies
In
of the
harmony
Ministry of-
with the
in harmony.
with the central.
Yeah, they should
body.
not work against the policies.
Let me tell you, just let me mention something. The increasement of the dollar from the 2 days, it increased a little bit because of the
taxes.
The taxes is being imposed to the gold. Automatically the dollar is
Incidence
going
of
up.
tax,
Yes,
yeah,
true.
they
That's
should-
very
So
dangerous.
that it's a serious indication
Yes, true.
that it has to be curbed, it has to be stopped.
This is why we're talking
by-
about the program.
and Prime Minister Hamdouk should intervene.
Definitely, it is a
Either-
must and
yes.
high time to
To
intervene.
intervene because if you leave any state to impose whatever they want, tax is something. I think tax is something central. It is a part of the
But
policy of the
fair
government.
taxes, we are talking about fair taxes, not exorbitant tax. Exorbitant tax will harm, and especially taxes on production, direct tax on production. That will harm the economy.
Very definitely,
So we don't
definitely,
put
definitely.
taxes, direct tax. We have to increase an indirect tax.
Okay.
Because direct tax will harm the production. You put taxes on the gold production. You put taxes on industry. You put taxes on education, which is very funny and amazing.
Which
So,
which
yeah.
In
You are-
milk, by the way,
in
in
the
milk
milk
even,
of the
even in
kids,
milk.
you put taxes.
It's
How?
true.
That will destroy the
inflation
economy.
inflation will go up. Huh?
Yeah, you talk about the production,
100%.
how we increase production. And I also want to add one fact. Why you increase the salary of public sector? This is very humble public sector in Sudan, by the way.
Yeah.
They don't deserve to increase salary. If you increase the salary, we have to increase productivity of worker or personnel. This is very humble personnel,
This is a
public
law, in
sector
fact, by the way,
especially.
and it's a
So we
rule.
cannot increase salary again. They have to work at the same rate, especially government.
Okay.
What is the contribution of government to the development for the last 60 decades? All the contribution that we have the poorest economies in the world. This is the
Only.
contribution. Yeah, we have very humble economy. So how we can increase their salary? We cannot
It's
increase.
true, the production is connected with the salaries. If you want to increase the salary, you have to speak about the production. You cannot increase the salary and you can't put that percentage for
The
how we're
same
going to
production.
increase the production, increase even the growth, increasement of whatever, how we're going to
Okay,
put the
okay.
indications in how
Yeah, we
So
have
the
to
reformers-
study. Yeah,
So
the reformers, what the reformers of the salaries are going to need?
Yes.
600%. What is the production?
What is the,
what is the result of that?
We want evaluation
There is
to the
nothing.
Badawi.
It's
Yeah.
true.
okay, that's good. So anyhow, you are saying that something very serious has happened and it started affecting the policy,
true.
which is the taxes,
Taxes,
the
yeah.
direct taxes imposed by
production.
state of Khartoum.
Unstudied even taxes. Unstudied taxes. These
Unstudied taxes. Okay, this is a very important point. Should be looked after by the Prime Minister, Dr. Hamdouk, and he is an economist in agriculture. He's definitely fully aware of this
Economist,
fact, but he has to be on top of things like this. All governors or walis, they should be advised that not to put something which has effect
Against-
on the macroeconomics of the country.
True, that's a very important point. Should be matched the microeconomic and financial.
It's only Minister of Finance to monitor things like this. Okay, that's very important from this episode. Okay, let us go to another question which is very important. Related to this, now we are talking about starting building reserve in Bank of Sudan and people are expatriates and other people. Do you think the banking system, the banks in Sudan, are they this time, this moment, are they qualified or they need some to cope with the expected flow of money, whether from expatriates, from local people? Do you think the banking system, they need some reform or some intervention from the government? The efficiency of the people working in the banks, managers, branch managers, finance department managers, whatever. Tell us about the banking system in Sudan now.
Absolutely, it needs a lot of rehabilitation. It needs a revolution, by the way. The banking system is really very behind for a really long time, more than 20 years. Expect that, especially even the capacity buildings and the institutional buildings. That is, it's been absent from a long time because of, I don't know, that is the local now system of the banking is really working in very traditional way. and put your money and just getting your money anytime, and that's only the small, maybe the technology is being happen, that is the ATM and whatever. But the main, the main thinkers in the banking systems, they're really very poor. They need a
Very.
lot of revolution, how to improve the banking system, how to match the Basel 1, Basel 2, Basel 3 now. It's really, we are very behind in banking system internationally. It's true, because before we have a problem of we are outside of the international financial system. Our bank is been having so much problem and part of the sanctions. But that is, cannot leave us like that. We leave the banking system like that, because now we are expecting a lot of uh, money from outside. We expect a lot of whatever, and really even the tools of the banking system, it needs a lot of, and at least let's expand even our financial system in Sudan. Only our financial system only is really being just in a small stream of banking. We don't have that bond exchange market. We don't have financial market. We don't have stock markets. We don't have that is even part of financiers, part of the finance system in different even in Africa, like Johannesburg stock market and financial market is being formed in a situation which is very bad than Sudan that time. That's almost 1980 something, 1970 something. At that time, South Africa, as we know, that is what was in very big problem. And now Johannesburg financial market is one of the biggest, is the biggest in Africa after Cairo, and after that Cairo. That one is really working in all the around the neighboring countries, Botswana, Switzerland, Mozambique, and whatever. Is working in one only that. We need to expand our financial system. We need to expand our whatever. We need how to mobilize our resources in that. And as we know that we have a lot of money outside Sudan now. Immigrant money now is almost more than 25,000 outside, maybe is one of the neighboring countries, 25 billion US dollar. We have almost more than more than 10 billion US dollar. It is only the transferring of the expats money. We have a lot of money which has been escaped away from Sudan. That is not less than 60 billion US dollar. If it come back this money, and we have to form a policies how we attract this money again, how we can bring this money again to our institutions here. How can we go and sit even with those who are extrapolating in dollar even? We have to put a proper policy with them, to give them at least, to encourage them to come and invest. They will put them, we put them at least, we give them more than incentives, at least full package of that. How can we bring them to even they can contribute in exporting and importing at least the oil and
So you are saying that
fuel. There's a lot of
you
money
are saying
outside.
that the banking system, they need
Capacity building.
capacity building
Yes.
and efficiency improving.
Improving.
Efficiency, when I say efficiency, by the equipment, the machines they use, the counters, whatever the system, the telecommunication system, they need the improvement, because sometimes they go late.
How this course with international system, how they're going how to come to match the international system, how they're going to do that in the negotiations, in whatever, in how they're going to
Yeah, this is
attract
very
the money, to
important.
attract at least the investors, to attract the FDI, to attract stock markets, to attract bond market. And how can they?
Okay,
We need
okay.
at least proper people who can expert. They can do
That
that.
was for the clear, yes, that we need, they need some improvement.
I can add
But I want to ask you a question, you can add, but
the
I
same
ask
banking. On bank.
Okay, but you can add it after my question, you add it to it.
Okay.
It's very important, because the effect, we want to ask you, Professor
Yeah.
Sammani, about the effect, what will be the effect of adjusting the custom rate. Now people, it is eminent, now becoming eminent.
Yeah.
That very soon, people, they say maybe in June, the custom rate will be 378 like the official rate, but the custom people, they are appeasing people, they are saying that some people, they will be exempted completely, some of some commodities, inputs, agricultural or industrial inputs will be exempted, but anyway, it's eminent that they are going to change the rate, the custom rate, to the official 1 unified rate. What will be the effect on this? And maybe you can add to what Dr. Sammani said, and then go to our question.
Yeah, okay, thank you. And before that, let me just to comment on the banking system. This humble banking system in Sudan is not qualified to support the economic reform policy in Sudan because of package of reasons. First of all, this is ideologized banking system. And the most important, that ideology of this banking does not match the requirements of the openness today in Sudan to integrate with the outside banking system. You see, when you study the banking system in Sudan, shortly you can discover that this is isolated banking system because of the Islamizations of the banking system. Islamizations of the banking system isolated the banking system from the international system. So the first step, I think, to reform this very humble banking system, we need to introduce a new proposal for banking system. In that proposal, we have to introduce dual banking system, as we mentioned in several ways. And again, I ask why the central bank is still led to take the decision to open two dual banking system in the economy. Why central bank is led to open interest rate in the economy? Central bank still has the NCB culture, the National Congress background, and even banking inhabited by the many members of the ex-regime of Al-Inqas. So the banking system, unless we take very serious decision about reforming these very strategic sectors in the economy, they will not benefit from the reform.
They will not cope.
They will not cope, yes, definitely. So I think in my mind, there is no banking in the such way, they explain it by the classical Islamic jurisprudence, that trading according to this type of banking is totally harm the economy and resulted in very humble banking that at the end of the day, increasing corruption in the economy, increasing, for example, shifting the risk to the investors in the economy, this is very humble manifesto of the Islamic banking. We introduce another alternative proposal on the Islamic commerce, which is different to the Islamic economics. Right. In Islam, by the way, there is no economics. If you go through the Holy Quran and you study the 114 surah, you will not find economics. From where did they get the term economics? There is no economics in the Islam. There is commerce. Commerce mentioned about 13 times in different verses of Holy Quran. So if we were Muslim, we have to stick to the commerce. And this is actually what I introduced as an alternative way of thinking to the banking and to the economics, which is completely different actually. There is no economics in the Islam. There is commerce. So you are, as a Muslim, you should stick to this commerce. And we rely on some fatwa from Al-Azhar, from Sudan, in order to relax the assumption on interest rate and to give banking more freedom. Okay. And also to open dual banking system, to have two banking systems. One thing, the very humble human resources in this banking system. So you need also a new human resources that believe in the new banking system, because the human resource are very important for any economic reform. If the man in position does not believe in the new principle, he will not be encouraged to do the job. For example, a private sector headed by communists cannot realize the development, definitely, because he will not encourage the sector. He doesn't believe actually in capitalism. So that will harm the human resources are important.
Very important.
So you need also to revise the positions of the human resources. Let us go to the custom rate, and this is your questions. I think the custom rate should be cancelled and removed in the economy. And we give full liberalization to the rate.
One rate?
Yeah, one rate. In this one rate, we have to stick to the WTO standards, the World Trade Organization on taxes. We should not increase the rate of taxes. Only 5 taxes, VAT, to be paid in the seaport. Inside the economy, we should not take any taxes. The economy will flourish. We have to increase the profit of the business people. Why we harm them and describe them as parasite and mafia and this routine media, social media? We have to increase profit. This is the only factor that make incentive to the business people to expand business. When you expand the business, you hire people, you increase employment in the economy, you increase productivity in the economy, you increase total production. So increasing the profit in the economy will encourage the investor to expand in the business. So removing the custom rate is a must for economic reform, and we have to introduce only one VAT that not exceed 5% like international standard, and inside the economy we should not take any taxes. we have to give more freedom to the business to grow, and we have to liberalize trade. We have to remove all restrictions on investment, the flow of investment. This personnel of the government, you ask to increase salary. Why you increase salary? These people will not attract any foreign direct investment, by the way. And let us follow them. Did you evaluate the impact of increasing of salary by al-Badawi on productivity of these people? How you increase again? So before increasing, we have to study and to see the feedback of the last increasing in salaries in the public sector. Yeah. Public sector, by all means, this existing public sector is disqualified to realize the development for Sudanese people.
That's very
yeah,
good.
This is my judgment.
This is very good. So you are very angry about this, but this is very good, very good. But anyhow, this is a very good advice. You gave us two advices. The first advice, taxes. Beware of putting taxes at random, like state of Khartoum, because this has a negative effect, and it started to have the negative effect. Okay. The other thing that both of you agree that the banking system has to be reformed.
Should be.
The banking system, Professor Samman Hanoun, you emphasize, you put emphasis on the personnel, the people, because people are now, most of them were, they inherited bad experiences from the hostage regime. That's what you are saying.
Yes,
and you are asking for a dual system in each bank, Islamic or the interest.
Economic conference that.
But not implemented.
Yes, not
Anyhow,
need a lot of studies.
This is very important decision, very important advice. Dr. Yasser Abed, you work in different parts of, you told us about South Africa, about Botswana. Now, what are the immediate measures which must be taken by the government to attract investors? How can we attract investors? Now, many obstacles were removed.
Yeah.
Sudan names from the state sponsoring tourism is taken. Economic sanctions also taken, lifted. And communication are going back to the global institution, financial institution, is on its way to full-fledged cooperation. So what are, this may be for both of you, what are the important, the immediate actions which should be, or policies should be taken by the government to attract investment?
Foreign direct investment, one of the very important financial tools in the world now, because of the we can't get the direct finance, and as we know that the international system of finance is being changed completely now in the world now, even from IMF or from World Bank or from another institution, from another international banks, and even from countries, even it's being changed now. What is one of the tools, one of the modern tools is FDI, and portfolio also investment. We are in need of that. We are in need of that. How going to attract that one? We need to at least to make classification of our internal and work home. What kind to do? We want to do the priorities of the projects, what's in need. It is infrastructures or power or in agriculture or whatever. At least we need studied projects and studied plan. How going to perform that one to the, or going to offer this one to the investors or international companies or international FDI. That's what we need. We need to target that one. We need at least experts and experienced houses internationally to study that projects and to study that plans and the priority of the projects, which is going to be. And internally, we have to change a lot of. We have to review at least to make a lot of revolution in our investment code. The investment code is really a lot of change, and even the rules and the regulations of the investment. It needs a lot of, and even the people themselves who dealing with this investment. Who are them? Who are them? Those type of people, especially what Mr. Professor said. Regarding the home dealing with international system, international investment, international companies, we need at least to train those people to face this international investment, and how we're going to do that one. Internally, we have to do whatever, and the problem of our regulation there in land and whatever, and those type of problems, which is gave the center the right and gave also the state the states the same right. And this one coming that introduction, coming that on between, and so we have to be very careful at this time, because many investors came to Sudan and they ran away and they left the
Yeah,
investment.
yeah. I think, okay, that's, it seems that we run already run short of time. We have only 1 minute to add to what Dr. Yasser said. We have only 1 minute.
Yeah, regarding foreign direct investment, if we were planning to increase the foreign direct investment, we need first of all to reform the regulation inside the government, because now we 100% sure that most of the problem of Sudan are internal, not external. The world, they, as you mentioned, they delist Sudan. They support Sudan into democracy. They also moving to relieve the debt. So our problem is internal. If we want to increase the flow of foreign direct investment in country, we have to replace the existing human resources, and we have to make a new regulations, and we have to make a foreign strategic partner from outside. We have to join WTO, World Trade
As
Organization.
soon as we can. Okay.
Yes,
Thank you very much, dear viewers, for being with us for the last 1 hour with important issues, and many points were raised. We hope to continue and see you next week on the same issue of the economic progress and the new policies of Sudan. Thank you. See you next week. Bye.